I just want to get your thoughts on last night's
Oh my
main event.
God, everybody's asking about that, but what do you want to know? Was
I
it
want to know.
boring? Was it boring? Of course it was boring. Did it put people to sleep? Yes, it did. Is it gonna sell tickets? Is it gonna make the fans want to watch boxing? No, it's not. People want to see blood. People want to see action. People want to see knockouts. People want to see fighters like me when I used to be a fighter. They want to see action. But I mean, look. I mean, Shakur, he's still a good. He's a great fighter, man. He's just got he's got what they say, the boxing IQ, and he's not gonna take risks. If he could win like that, just with the jab, honestly, I said he would pick him apart. He did pick him apart, but just with the jab, with one hand. If you notice at times when he threw the 1-2, like we maybe in the ninth, 10th round, he caught him with some explosiveness, but we needed to see more of that, more excitement. He was very he waited too much. He was very cautious. He was just happy winning the rounds, whatever it took to win the round. That's what he did. But on for De Los Santos, I mean, it's his fault too. He should have put more pressure. I mean, to beat a guy like, you're not gonna beat Shakur. You're not gonna outbox Shakur. You're not at that level. You're not gonna outbox. I mean, he's a very elusive, very crafty, very the speed, the angles. He knows how to hold you. He knows when to throw a jab, and he's just a very smart fighter. But if you want to try to beat a guy like that, um, and you're not gonna have the speed he does. I mean, you got to keep constant pressure from the beginning, from the get go. You can't waste any time. When the bell rings, you got to get on his ass. But smart, intelligent pressure. A lot of head movement. Get in there with the jab, not just one jab. Dissect with the jab. To the body, to the shoulders, little jabs, fast jabs, hard jabs. Even like how Mike Tyson you attack, Pitbull, all that, Chavez Senior, those kind of attacks. Hit the body, hit the shoulders, hit the waist. Just suffocate him. Don't let him breathe. Don't give him any room to think, man. You gotta, and it's gonna be hard because to fight a guy like him that's so crafty in the speed and this footwork. You got to break him down. You got to get him tired. Or try to get him to that point. Try to get him to that point. But I believe if you invest in a good body attack early on. I know I'm talking my ass off because it was your fault. You're the one that wanted to interview me, and I'm not gonna stop now. So, I mean, a guy like him, you got to keep constant pressure. Be consistent. You can't work yourself in and then, I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna go back outside. No, because then that you're giving him what he wants. You got to be on his ass from the get go. That's the and I believe if you do that, you might lose some early rounds. You might lose all the rounds. You might win two of those early rounds. But I believe in the second half of the fight, if you keep that momentum going, you could wear him down. Things will change. He'll fold. I know he's a great fighter. I mean, his boxing IQ. He's a boxer first, technical. Their thing is hit and not get hit. I'm gonna talk for my people, like the Mexican style fighting, the Latinos, whatever. Put them all together, Puerto Ricans, Mexicans. But I'm a Mexican. Well, most of us come, we come forward. Mano a mano. We're gonna go toe to toe. We're gonna force you to do that. We know that's what we do. Okay, and if you mix it up, this is not has nothing to do with my style when I was a boxer. But if you mix it up with coming forward, but boxing, intelligent pressure, giving him angles, keep turning him, but keeping that distance close, close range, not long range. You don't want to work yourself in there and then get back away out. No, you got to keep it close, mid range, and keep turning and keep that constant pressure. And give them angles, give them speed, give them different looks. If you mix that up with the whole Mexican macho, let's go to the body, let's go, headbutts, elbows, whatever happens. That's what you have to do with a guy like Shakur.
So what?
Did I say enough? Did I say enough?
you said a lot, but you made a lot of good points there. But I gotta ask you, why didn't Edwin de los Santos cut off the ring?
Yeah, I mean that's another thing. Yeah, it's so many things, you know. Yeah, you just can't follow Shakur going forward. You gotta get, you know, you gotta follow him, and you can't square up on him. You gotta be, you know, Mayweather's side, give him as much as you can of this look instead of like this, and cut and make that ring small. You know, cut the angles. A thing that my son does, you know, Giovanni switches from righty to lefty, and that cuts the ring in half right away with the guy that runs. You know, when you switch right, I couldn't do that. Giovanni does it very well. You know, he switches right to left to right, and then it just cuts the ring faster. You know, and it keeps you from following the guy in the you know, going in the line of fire. You know, and you run into his jab or straight shot, so you got to attack at angles, from different angles, and bobbing, you know, bobbing and moving your head and side to side, under and over, feints, all that. But you're right about cutting off the ring. Why didn't De Los Santos cut the ring? I don't know, man. He's definitely a strong guy. He's a strong guy. He's got power. Shakur felt something. Trust me. He felt even just the whole body connection, the whole, when you're in there with a guy and you tie him up, you're gonna know how strong this guy is. So Shakur felt that strength. And he might have felt, you know, some power. He got hit to the body, maybe the arms. And he's like, man, I can't. He probably said, I can't let this guy, you know, catch him with a good shot, because if he does, you know, he's gonna hurt me. So he knew, you know, he's smart. He knew what he was doing. But De Los Santos didn't take advantage of that the moment. You know, I know some people don't understand. Oh, it's a boring fight. You know, De Los Santos, you know, he should have attacked more, or why didn't he attack more? Well, I get why he couldn't attack more, because of Shakur's smartness. You know, he's got the speed, the footwork, and he knows what to hold you and keep you at bay, and maneuver you with the jab and keep you out there. But at the end of the day, man, you got to get in with a fighter like that. You got to find a way to get in and cut that distance and make that ring smaller. Because if you don't make that ring smaller, he's going to eat you up, man. You're going to give him room to move all over the place. You're going to let him fight his pace. You're not going to tire him out. You're not going to suffocate him. You're not going to make that heart rate beat more. He's going to be comfortable. You're going to let him fight his pace. He did attack at times, but then he would back up. You know, you can't do that with a guy like Shakur. You got to keep that. Be consistent. Be consistent. Keep touching. Keep touching behind a steady jab. You're not going to go in with one shot either. That's another thing. Shakur could frustrate you, you know, by you know, you lose your head. You're trying to land bombs. That's not going to work. You got to put punches and bunches, combinations, and you know, change the speeds of your combinations. You know, touch, boom, jab, jab, move, jab, 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 boom, boom, touch, and then boom, and then jab, jab again. Push him, you know, rough him up, talk shit to him, that kind of stuff. And like you said, make the ring smaller, cutting them off, and keep turning them circles. But you got to be in excellent shape, man, like really good shape, and have a lot of confidence. And don't let his speed and his movement and, you know, his taunting, don't let him get in your head. Don't let him get in your head. You keep that constant. You lose a round, Jay, you can't give up. You got to keep that momentum going. You're going to lose some rounds. You're going to lose rounds with him. I mean, that's just the way it is. But you got to keep it going. If you don't, then he's going to overwhelm you. He's going to take over. And then, especially if you lose it, you lose your head, you're done.
But you also made a good point. What happened to the body work? Edwin De Los Santos didn't go downstairs.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, we used to have an old school trainer back in the days, Georgie Benton from Philadelphia, back, you know, when I was at the Duba camp. And, you know, he would, you know, I learned a lot from him, and, you know, sparring with Pernell Whitaker and all those guys, Melder Taylor. And he would always say, hit him anywhere, you know, hit him on the shoulders, hit him on the waist, hit him on the leg even, you know, but make those legs cramp up. When the referee's not looking at him on the leg, you know, he's boxing. Just hit him anywhere. Hit him on the throat. Hit him on the chest. Hit him on the body. You got to be rough. It's boxing, man. You got to be rough. Headbutt him in the inside. You know, if the referee doesn't want, if the referee warns you one time, that's okay. I mean, I was sorry. It was an accident. Oh, you do it again. Oh, I forgot it's another accident. Just don't get it. You know, don't do it 3 times, because then you'll take a point away. But it's boxing, man. You know, it's a rough sport. It's a brutal sport. And he needed to make it like he needed to make it a a dogfight. You know, you got to make it. You got to make it a dogfight. You find someone like Shakur, unless you're a finesse, a technical fighter like he is, then it'll be like a chess match. You know, it'll be like they're playing the what's that Olympic sport, the swords with the swords. What's it called? You know, they'll be like this. You know, so it'll be a chess match, and it's who's there. You know, who gets off first, who more like a counter punching match, and based, you know, working everything off the jab. But the majority of the times, Shakur's gonna fight a guy that's got to bring it to him and make it a dogfight.
Do you think much respect to ShakurStevenson? And if so, why? Because I don't see ShakurStevenson punching like Rayo Valenzuela. You know where you saw
Hey, listen, that's
Rayo
exactly
Valenzuela drop De Los Santos.
yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what I was telling my dad and, you know, my son and all my boys. We were talking about it. If you see that Shakur's not hurting you, if you see that you could work yourself in there, you know, why you get back outside. If you feel like you're stronger than him, you know, really, if you feel like he's not hurting you with his shots, hey, if you got to take 3 or 4 shots to get in there, do it. It's okay. It's boxing. Take those shots, but once you get in the pocket, be smart about it. You know, keep that close, you know, mid-close range and work off of that. You know, block some shots. Don't give him nothing to hold. You know, don't be too wide with your shots, because that'll give him time to hold on to you, hold your arm, or just grab on you, because that's what he's gonna do. And just keep pecking away, little short shots in the inside, and keep turning him. It's a hard style to figure out. Now, don't get me wrong, it's hard, but you will see if you keep doing that as the rounds go, you could break a guy like that. You could break him. You really can. You know, invest in the body and little short shots up the middle. Keep turning him. Keep blocking, block, catch, block, short shots. Keep turning him, and you know, just be like consistent, like an Energizer bunny. You know, don't let off the pedal. You know, you gotta keep punching. Touch, boom, touch, boom, boom, jab. You know, push them. You know, push them back, rough them up.
Isn't that what Julio Cesar Chavez used to do?
That's what he used to do. I mean, how many times did we see him fight with guys that were boxers? You know, like Meldrick Taylor, Roger Mayweather. You know, Roger Mayweather. That was. I mean, Roger Mayweather did good against him, but you know what would happen in the second half of the fight? A lot of the guys that would try to box him, you know, that they were successful at the beginning, but Chavez never gave up. Constant pressure, good body attack, took a good shot. I mean, he took sometimes 10 shots just to get in there. But once he got in there and he got in that rhythm, and you let him get in that rhythm, and it was the second half of the fight, and his opponent, you could tell his legs were not the same. He was getting tired. That's when he took over, man. That's why he was so great at that, at breaking fighters down. The heart, just the determination, that will, those big huevos, man. Those big Mexican huevos. You know what I mean? That's what it was. It came down to that too, you know, because you gotta have balls, man. If you don't have that in boxing, don't even box. For what? Honestly.
And speaking of Chavez, I remember Hector Macho Camacho saying that Chavez made him piss blood.
There you go. The body shots, the custom body shots and everything, the head shots, that mental pressure, that overwhelming, like you know, with that ring, you know, it could have been a big ring and it just gets smaller and smaller as the rounds go. They don't have no room to go, man. They're like, where do I go? So that's why Chavez was so great. I mean, you know, my respects to Chavez. You know, he was a hell of a fighter. I grew up watching Chavez. He was one of my favorite fighters. Roberto Duran, same thing too. One of my favorite fighters. Marvelous Marvin Hagler. How did he break you down? You know, he lefty with the jab. I'm old school, you know, with the jab. That little peck and jab. Hagler would just touch you with the jab and combinations. He's a great fighter, man. The Hagler, like I said,
The great days of boxing.
Yeah, back in the day. Look, I mean, Sugar Ray Leonard. I mean, he was a great boxer, but he came to fight. He came to destroy. He came to knock you out. When he fought Tommy Hearns, I love Sugar Ray Leonard. Tommy Hearns, the Hitman, man. Those were the fights, you know. And we got fighters like that nowadays. You know, I love Tank Davis. You know, he's explosive. He creates exciting fights. Tank Davis is great. David Benavidez is fighting next week on Showtime against Buba Andrade, whatever you want to call him. I'll call him Andrade. Bubu. Benavidez is another action-packed fighter. Terrence Crawford, good boxer, puncher. He creates exciting fights. He puts people in seats. You know, people want to see him. Like I said, Tank. You know, I already said Tank Davis. I love Tank Davis. I was talking about that earlier today with somebody, with Steve Farhood, I believe. Like Tank Davis, I remember when he fought Rowley in at the Barclays Center. Man, electric. You know, Showtime. You know, boxing. Just the atmosphere. You know, the whole production and the whole behind the scenes, the broadcaster, everything, man. Just but the excitement that Tank Davis brings, you know, because Rolly was in the fight and then bam, he caught him. He got him out of there. Like he brings out the stars, the movie stars, the sports stars, everybody. When he fought in Atlanta, Georgia, filled up the stadium too, where in Georgia, T-Mobile Arena with Ryan Garcia, Tank Davis, Staples Center with Pitbull Cruz, Tank Davis, exciting, explosive fights. He knows how to sell, and on top of that, he's a very humble guy, man. He's a great kid, man. I love Tank Davis. Tank Davis is great. David Benavidez, Terrence Crawford, all those guys. Even, you know, before the Crawford fight, Errol's he's a grinder. Errol Spence, he's a grinder. He comes to fight. So, yeah, I mean,
hopefully we can see. Hopefully we can see Tank Davis against ShakurStevenson in the near future.
I think people want to see that fight, yes, because so look how bad Shakur looked in his last. They want to see somebody knock Shakur out probably after last night. They want to, honestly, that's what's gonna sell. There's gonna be people that are gonna want to buy that fight because they want to see Shakur get knocked out by Tank Davis, because Tank Davis has the power to do that, has the skills to do that, has the explosiveness to do that. But Shakur also brings a lot to the table, man. Shakur's a bad dude. I mean, I still think he's a bad dude. He's very smart. You know, maybe he had a bad night. I don't know. I don't want to make excuses for him, but you know, he won the fight. He still won the fight. He did what he had to do to win the fight, and I think he won the fight unanimously. And I would love to see that fight down the line. I think people will buy it. People want to see that fight.
Raul, I gotta ask you the comparison between ShakurStevenson and Pernell Whitaker. Both slick boxers, but Pernell Whitaker gets a lot of love, and ShakurStevenson doesn't.
Yeah. No, I mean, I mean, right now from what I saw last night, you can't compare. I mean, Pernell was another level, man. I did a lot of sparring with Pernell, a lot. I was in camp with him a lot in Virginia Beach, in Fort Pierce, Florida, in San Antonio, here in Houston. I sparred him so much, man. Lefty, very elusive, and he had respectable power. The way he would sit on his shots, he would stay in the pocket. He gave fans what they wanted. I mean, look, he fought Chavez here in San Antonio. I thought he beat him. I thought he beat Chavez. They didn't give him a decision. He'll make you miss and make you pay and stay in the pocket. And he you know, he was willing to go toe to toe, you know, like, but smart, intelligent. He did it when he could, and if he couldn't, you know, he'll keep turning and you know, doing all his movements he used to do, like get down low. And he was very he had fun in there. He had fun, very elusive, very flamboyant. I mean, he was something else, man. I love Pernell. I love Pernell Whitaker.
And speaking of Pernell Whitaker, I remember when he made De La Hoya miss a lot of punches.
He made De La Hoya miss everything, man. That was. Don't let me get into that fight, man. De La Hoya fought him at the end of his career, and honestly, I thought Pernell won that fight. That's the day I won the world title that day during the day on ABC Wild World Sports. I fought Anthony Stevens, knocked him out 9 rounds, I believe, and Oscar fought Pernell. And I mean, I thought Pernell. I don't think Oscar did enough to win. I mean, it could have been a draw. It could have been for Pernell. You know, he made Oscar miss a lot of punches. Yeah, you're right.
Speaking of De La Hoya, how come we didn't see you fight De La Hoya?
He never wanted to fight me. I mean, trust me, there was opportunities. Just business. You know, he wanted to make the right decisions. He didn't want to fight a Mexican that's strong, that's lefty, that attacks to the body like me. And I mean, believe it or not, I would have given him a lot of problems. He knows it, but it's what, you know, that's in the past. You know, he fought a lot of smaller guys. Like, he gave a lot of guys opportunities. You know, the late Arturo Gatti and, you know, Jesse James Leija, and, you know, he fought the right guys, and he made the right business decisions, and that's why he was the golden boy. He was the guy that won the gold medal.
Raul Márquez, I gotta also ask you about Showtime boxing ending. What's your thoughts?
Well, it's you know, bittersweet, man, that Showtime boxing is coming to an end. You know, especially, you know, I was with him for many years. You know, I got started with them in 2012 doing Showtime Championship boxing in Spanish, and then that same year I joined the series Showbox, the new generation, where you cover you know, up and coming prospects, and you know, it was fun. I had I was with him for 12 years, 12-year run. It was fun working with the Showtime family, and you know, I'm sure that, you know, PBC, you know, because PBC was the promoter with Showtime, you know, the PBC fighters fought on Showtime, and I'm sure that PBC is they're gonna land the platform. You know, there's all kinds of rumors that we hear, different platforms. I don't think nobody knows anything yet, but I'm sure they're working on it behind. I mean, I'm sure they are working on it. I'm sure they know where it's gonna land, and I mean, boxing's gonna continue, man. Boxing's gonna continue. But it is sad that after many. I mean, who would have thought? You know, whenever I used to work for HBO too. You know, I worked for HBO Latino, so I did all the big fights too on HBO Latino. Back when, you know, it was Jim Lampley and Larry Merchant and George Foreman, and you know, when that came to an end, you know, that's kind of when Showtime also took over, you know, with, you know, Mayweather and then Canelo fighting on Showtime, and then, you know, they've always had big names fight on Showtime, even before, like back in the days, Mike Tyson and Chavez. But who would have thought that, you know, Showtime would come to an end, and I think it surprises a lot of people. A lot of people are shocked, but yeah, I mean, I'm just, you know, I'm hoping that, well, I'm not hoping. I mean, that's what's going to happen. You got all those fighters, Tank Davis and Errol Spence and Crawford, and, you know, whoever signed with PBC, you know, Canelo signed with PBC, you know, he's got 3-fight deal. He already had one, the last fight with Charlo. So he's got 2 other Charlo brothers, Benavidez, all those guys that are signed with PBC. That they got to fight. They have to fight. So we'll see what platform PBC lands on.
Maybe they can go to the Zone. Isn't Gio with the Zone now?
No, not necessarily. You know, Gio's just been fighting. You know the story. He debuted on Showbox. That was his pro debut. That was on Showtime, and he also fought a fight on the Zone on Overtime Boxing. And then he also fought his last fight on a Top Rank card on ESPN Plus. He's fighting, as a matter of fact, he's fighting December 1st here in Houston on this. I believe the promoter is Red Owl, and that'll be on the Zone. and we're looking for bigger things next year. But we're just trying to build up Giovanni's record. Hopefully he'll be 8-0 with 6 knockouts, before the year's over, and we're looking to get him more fights next year. I think his management, David McWater, Split T, they're working on things, and good things are coming for Giovanni.
Any word on Gio's opponent?
Did you say about Gio's opponent? Is that
who's his opponent?
He's fighting a guy named Joshua Rivera from La Mesa, California. He's 8-3. I believe he's 29 years old. I think they call him the Pretty Boy. The Pretty Boy. He's it'll be a 6-round fight at a 140. He's a durable opponent from what I've seen and from what I hear. He's gonna come to fight. He comes to fight, and Giovanni likes to fight too. So we're looking forward to it. Giovanni's training really hard. We had some good sparring earlier today. He went 8 solid rounds, and we still got 2 more weeks before he fights. And he's ready, man. He's hungry. He's ready to put on a show for his Houston fans and then everybody that follows him on social media. And plus, it'll be on the Zone, December the 1st. Red Owl Promotions. And we're very excited. We're very excited about this opportunity.
I'm excited as always to see Gio Márquez, so I'll be tuned in. December 1st, right?
December 1st on the Zone. Again, Joshua Rivera, who's 8-3. I believe he's got 3 or 4 knockouts. He's got 3 losses. He's a durable opponent. He comes to fight. He's gonna bring it, and it should be an action-packed fight.
Raul Márquez, I thank you for your time.
Yeah,
we hope to see Gio Márquez fighting for a world title in the near future.
Yeah, we're working hard, man. You know the sport. It's a tough sport, but we work hard every day, and I think Gio's got a lot of skills. We spar a lot of top guys, and he's hungry, and we're just gonna keep working hard. And everybody, make sure you follow TMT, the Márquez team, and tune in December 1st on the Zone. But watch Giovanni put on a show like he always does. He always puts on shows. He knows that he needs to put in exciting fights, and my son, he loves his fans to enjoy his fight. So that's what he's about.
That's what it's about. Okay, Raul Márquez, thank you once again.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. And anytime, man. If I got, I'm a busy guy, but whenever I'm ready. Let me know. Thank you.
All right.
All right, man.